It's Mark Ling here, and I've got with me a really special guest. His name is Mike Long, and Mike is an absolute expert at a number of things when it comes to marketing online. In particular, he's really, really good at driving traffic and free traffic to websites. I've worked with him outside of teaching people how to make money in terms of other niches, like in the dating niche, for instance. We both happen to have products in the dating niche, and he's promoted me before and made hundreds of sales. And I know firsthand what he's capable of. I've seen what he's done with several of his students, and we've met in person as well, and have spent a lot of time discussing marketing strategies. He's been around for years. He's actually been in charge of several multi-million-dollar launches as well. And but in particular, when it comes to this particular training that we're conducting today, Mike is going to be teaching you something that he has taught a large number of students how to do, which is how to make a lot of money as a local marketing consultant. Now, some of you, this is going to be the perfect career path for you, and that's going to be awesome. And for others, you're going to think, well, you know what, I want to make money while I sleep as an affiliate, but in the meantime, I'll make myself, thousands of dollars as a local marketing consultant. I'll do websites for people, I'll set up Facebook pages, I'll do this, I'll do that. Get people high search engine rankings. All of this stuff's going to be taught by Mike on this particular webinar. So stay tuned, and without further ado, here's Mike.
Hey Mark, thank you so much for that introduction. And I love working with you. I think that anybody who's involved with the fellow jetpacks made a very smart move working with Mark. Mark's a legend, and it's awesome to work with you.
Thanks.
I got started with. I agree with you. This local client consulting is a weirdly good way to make money online, and typically we found that if you really cherry pick this, if you really go for the low-hanging fruits when it comes to this, you'd be surprised at how much money you can make. I actually call this technique day job killing, because we've had so many people just in the last few months since I started letting the cat out of the bag on this have so much success. So what I want to do is I'll quickly introduce. I actually stumbled upon this concept. I'm going to share my screen here, which shortly it'll look a little bit weird with the whole tiling, but let me know if you can see my screen pretty well there at this point.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, what I want to do is to introduce this. I'll tell you how I stumbled upon this, and then I'll show you how. I'm going to show you a number of ways that you can do this technique. This is going to be all content. You'll get, I believe, quite a bit out of this. So this fellow right here is Hugh Pinero. And I pulled out when Mark and I came up with the idea for us to do this event just about a day ago. So I had about a day to prepare things, and I was thinking things through. And this is really how I got started. It was by total chance. I was in Vegas. Vegas is the first place that Mark and I met in person recently. But this is years back. This is all the way back. You can see this is 1/11/2006. And what happened was I was in Vegas for an internet marketing event with just a mastermind event. And Yannick had convinced me to fly.
So this was several years ago.
Yeah, this is years and years ago. This just to let you know that this really works. And what I'll show inside of this was really eye-opening to me. And there's a huge lesson in this, a very specific lesson that you can use even today. So Yannick convinced me to fly first class, which I never do. And then he bailed on me. Like on the way back, he went home early because his wife was about to have a baby, and so he bailed. So they sold his seat to Hugh Pinero, who was the founding CEO of XM Satellite Radio, and this is shortly before XM merged with Sirius. And I wound up talking to Hugh the entire time, the entire flight, and he actually sent me this letter back. It's kind of funny, you can see this in quotes. One of his colleagues who is sitting in first class as well said, "I can't believe you talked to that guy for over 4 hours and only stopped when one of the two of you went to the bathroom." He was really impressed with our conversation, and he invited me to come in to XM Radio. He was the person, Mark, who brought up the idea of me doing consulting for him. I had no inclination whatsoever to do local client consulting, and again, the thought had never occurred to me. And he was really trying to talk me into it. So I went into XM Radio. It was just a couple days later, and it was funny because he put me right in the middle of a marketing meeting. And I'm like you, Mark. I'm just an underground guy, just makes money from home, or maybe you have an office or something like that. But regardless, we're just underground guys, and I'm not I don't have a suit or anything like that, or at least I didn't at the time. And I found myself in the middle of this big marketing meeting with their marketing vice president. And I think that the marketing vice president felt a little threatened by me being there, and I don't really know why or what happened behind the scenes. Obviously, you can see by this letter, he was really excited to meet me. But anyway, the marketing guy, what he said to me, the vice president, he was like, I know you internet guys can make money, a lot of money on a small scale with a small number of customers. But what you have to understand is that we're dealing with a lot of clients here. We're dealing on a big scale, on a scale that you're really not used to. And it was funny. I felt kind of convinced when he said it. I felt like he must be right. That I must be out of my league or whatever was going on. And it was funny because Hugh kind of reminded me, because what I had done that really convinced him was I made a video before that meeting. After I got this letter from Hugh, I made a video, or actually right before, I sent him a video because he had given me his email address. And all I did was the same thing that you might do today, which is I opened up the Google keyword tool, and I just showed him, for example, and this is something that'll hit home for you, Mark, because I know that your original start was in celebrity websites and so forth. I showed him that, for example, at the time, that Kelly Clarkson, the singer from American Idol, that exact match, she was getting 700,000 exact match searches per month. And I showed him other various music stars at the time, 50 Cent and so forth, and likewise they were getting 200,000, 500,000, even 1 million searches per month. And that really blew the idea out of the water that we weren't dealing with large scales there. And I wound up doing some consulting for him. It was quite lucrative, around $10,000 for a very small amount of work for him. And it's actually, Frank Kern actually wound up telling me several months ago, maybe a year or two ago, that he started doing a local consulting based on that because of my conversation with Hugh. So I just wanted to give that as an introduction, because this wasn't something that I had really thought of. But what I want to get into is a number of ways, because of course you might say to yourself, well, that's great, if I wind up in first class sitting next to the CEO of XM Satellite Radio, but how do I land these consulting deals, and what are these consulting deals for? What are we going to do? And there's a number of things that we can do. We can do SEO for people. We can do pay-per-click for people. We can set up their Facebook pages, Twitter pages, Google Plus accounts. We can set up Google. Go ahead, Mark.
And by we, Mike, by the way, is meaning you, as in if that's something that you, the viewer, is watching, is interested in, you can do. You can provide any of these services. Even if you think you're not an expert in them right now, a lot of these services are stuff that you're going to find actually very straightforward and in no time at all. If you take an interest in it.
Absolutely. It's so funny because, especially because you're joining forces here with Mark, and because I'm here as well, you're privy to a really advanced skill set that even your larger national firms in SEO and in online marketing, they don't really have access to the kind of know-how and training that you're getting with Mark and with Simon. You're not going to find that normally, or that you get with me or with my partner Greg. It's just not typically out there. Most of my viewers don't even know who Simon is. But sorry about that.
No, that's all good. Simon's my business partner when it comes to anything to do with the make money type stuff. Not my niches that I'm in, but when it comes to like Affiliarama, Traffic Travis, Sale Who, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and he's quite brilliant.
Just for people that are wondering.
Yeah,
and he is. Yeah, he's the brains behind it all.
Yeah, he's really brilliant. Of course, you are too. So what I want to do is I've got 14 techniques lined up here for you, and we're going to go rapid fire through these. And I'm not just going to show you ideas here. These are all real world examples. Each one of these folders here that I've got laid out for you is a real world example, something that I've got a client right now making at least 5 figures a month minimum. Okay, so I'm not going to waste your time with anything that doesn't make money right now.
So basically, just to quickly outline it though, you're going to be covering several different ways that people can make money as a consultant, and also you'll take some questions from me at the end, because I'm probably going to ask you questions about, say, how to go about billing out your clients, what sort of contracts do you normally draw up, and those sort of standard things that people might be. How do you pitch it to a client? to actually
Absolutely.
get clients in the first place. I'll probably grill you for a bunch of stuff as well.
I would love that. Yeah.
Whatever
Right.
we can fit into the time frame, really.
Absolutely. And so
Cool.
just to begin with, so it doesn't get confusing or on your mind, let's talk really quickly about some of the things that you can sell. And these can even be things that you currently today, at this moment, have no idea of how to do. In a very short period of time, even within hours, you can be surprisingly advanced at these things. So there's SEO, which is ranking sites #1 on Google, and this is my favorite. But there's a ton more. Let me just make this kind of appropriately sized. There's SEO, there's pay-per-clicks, which is paid traffic on Google. There's site design, website design, and it's surprisingly easy to make their site look really terrific. There is Facebook. You can set up a Facebook page /fan page for them. Google Plus and Google authorship. People love this. Google Plus, Google authorship, Google Places. Gets them in the local listings and maps, of course. There is Twitter. You might say to yourself, well, who would need that? It's so simple. But the majority of business owners do not know how to set up a Facebook fan page. They just don't. They have no idea. There is list building. When I first started, my background, actually, my very first business was a game store. And the only way that my game store stayed afloat was that I did list building for my game store. And it really just made a huge difference. So you can do...
It's massive. A friend of mine actually started doing local business consulting, and there was one of the gymnasiums here in Christchurch. It makes about $10,000 a week in revenue. Okay,
Wow.
so it's doing well. Okay,
Yeah.
Or maybe it was doing 5,000. Sorry, it was doing 5,000, and now it's doing 10,000, and it doubled its revenue because of the list building, simply because of the fact that they started capturing emails, following up with them, and running monthly specials to get members in.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And
that's also what Brad Howard
made
did.
a big difference.
That was Brad Howard's background. That's how he got started. Now he's a 8-figure internet marketer, but he would do list building for local gyms and stuff like that. So exactly, it's a very real thing. So there's list building. There's also marketing consulting, where you can help them understand what to do, like what different things that they can do with their business, consulting and coaching, and those are a few of the best ones. We'll probably think of a couple more as this event goes on, but kind of make a mental note of these. There's so many. Yeah, I know there's more, like setting up videos for YouTube. Oh goodness,
the list goes on.
Well, YouTube is one of the biggest. I was actually sort of mentally including it up here with SEO, but
and then there's paid traffic outside of Google. I mean, there's probably other things depending on the type of business.
Yeah, there's paid traffic outside of Google, and actually even offline traffic. You can even potentially do.
And you don't have to do everything either. I mean, I know some people that only provide any one of those services there, just one, and it can be enough to run a whole business.
Yeah,
you might even do apps, like building little...
Absolutely. Apps are a really big one.
Somebody else.
Yeah,
anyway,
exactly.
I'll let you carry on.
And if you don't know what to do, the ones that I would definitely do no matter what, if you're not sure, I would do SEO, I would do YouTube, and I would do website design. Those are my 3 favorite ones. So I've kind of highlighted them for you and bolded them for you. And that's just my recommendation. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see the real issue, Mark, and I know you realize this. The real issue is client acquisition, because this is the biggest market in the world. This is why I call this day job killing, because there's so many big juicy markets. You and I are both in relationship advice. You and I are both getting into the health market. Obviously, there's the make money and investing market. My affiliates did $1.2 million worth of gold sales last month. Yeah, there's a lot of big markets out here, but the very biggest in the world, in my opinion, is local client consulting, because that opens you up to a huge base of customers. Every current business and every aspiring business person in the world becomes your potential client, and it is the wealthiest market in the world. Those are the people, their ad budgets collectively add up to much more than any smaller market than say the weight loss market or something like that. And that, again, that's just my opinion, but this is the number one way that I've had people very quickly quit their day jobs. And you don't have to be locked into local client consulting. In fact, the first technique that I want to talk to you about for client acquisition is actually leveraging your affiliate sites and potentially even your Jetpack site, which of course is really impressive. Jetpack is such an extraordinary, if you have access to a fellow Jetpack. I call this affiliate. It's all connected. Okay, so the idea is leveraging your affiliate sites to sell services to local clients. I have two examples. For each of these, I have at least one example of somebody who's making at least 5 figures per month doing this. So this first one here, I showed you this earlier. This is Jimmy Kelly, and Jimmy wrote into me recently. I think he wrote into me last month, and what he said is that he basically had a business that was spiraling out of control. He joined me and my partner Greg Morrison, and they were a search engine optimization based business. They basically rank for big affiliate terms, and they were in trouble. Their rankings weren't working, and they got with us and started having some success. Actually, a lot of success. They're making like $1,200 a day. He showed me a screen capture here, which is pretty neat. I'll go ahead and show that to you just for fun. But this is just one of his affiliate accounts. So you can see this one. He was making a few $100s a day just on this one alone. But anyways, but one of the things he did once he got inside of our training was he noticed me harping on this day job killer, on this local client consulting. So he started doing it. And at this point, when he sent this message in to me, he was already making. He had 4 clients paying $1,500 a month. He's in Utah, in Sandy, Utah. So he had, I think one was like a massage therapy place. One was, I think, a mold removal place. Anyways, he had 4 different clients, each paying him $1,500 a month, and he was using this exact technique that I'm teaching you right now. And so what he would do is he'd approach a client and he'd say, listen, right now you're advertising with yellowpages.com or something like that for Utah, and what you need to understand is that they're small potatoes. They're a small local firm, and they're literally very weak. I'm actually operating, I so happen to be operating on the national level, and let me show you my website that's getting traffic on the national level. And of course, you could do this with pay-per-click advertising as well. He happened to be showing them their free Google rankings, and that was very convincing. And he signed up $6,000 per month of local clients doing this. But the really exciting thing is he just updated me a few days ago, and he actually landed a monster client that's now paying him $10,000 a month that he got through one of his other clients. So one of his other clients was so happy and so excited. So keep that in mind. And I really like starting off with this technique, because anybody who's involved with affiliate marketing, this can allow you to expand the value of your website by so much. You're putting all this blood, sweat, and tears to be able to make money while you sleep, which is wonderful. Well, it turns out, and the first time I made a sale based on this, well, actually, basically, that's what really impressed Hugh Pinero when he met me, was I had all these nationally ranked sites for all these various keywords and so forth. He realized that XM Radio didn't have that, that when you searched for Kelly Clarkson, they weren't getting that. And I was like, well, that's, obviously that's ridiculous. And those were in the days when you could also just get like nickel pay-per-clicks on a lot of those search phrases and so forth. So here's another example. And I think that the psychology behind this, by the way, is that this is an update. I actually just got this. I just got this by Skype yesterday from Carlos Diaz. This works anywhere in the world, by the way. Interestingly enough, Carlos is from not Costa Rica. He's from the Dominican Republic. And I think that the psychology behind this is that these business owners, like the mold removal guy, your local lawyer, your local even tree removal guy, they are business people. And so if you show them that you're a business person and not just a vendor, one of the things that I really use, I have a number of sites that are ranked on page 1 for gold. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, so basically you're saying, though, in a nutshell, is that the fact that you happen to have examples that you are a business owner too, that helps you to land the client. So even if you don't have commission examples, you at the very least are able to show some of your websites you've set up, or you're able to show maybe some search engine rankings you've already obtained or something like that. Yeah,
and I don't think that my clients are really showing. I've never shown if I showed my paychecks to people, it would be a little bit disorienting to them because of the kind of scale that you and I work on, Mark.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
I don't think, weirdly enough, I don't think that showing paychecks is a good idea. I think that exactly what you're saying is correct. Showing search results or even paid traffic, even showing that you can get their paid traffic up there, that's impressive to them.